The day I checked my bank account and panicked, I only had $14 left. Not at the end of the month. Not after paying rent. Randomly. In the middle of the week. And the scary part wasn't the number itself. It was the realization that I had absolutely no idea where my money went. I stared at the screen thinking, that can't be right. So I refreshed the app. Again. And again. Like somehow the number would magically change. It didn't. And in that moment, I felt something I had never felt before. Not just stress. Loss of control. Because for the first time, I realized I wasn't managing my money at all. I was surviving one transaction at a time. And what happened next completely changed the way I think about money. Most people imagine financial problems happening dramatically. Huge debt. Massive gambling mistakes. Expensive luxury purchases. But honestly, that's not how financial collapse usually starts. Most of the time, it starts quietly. Tiny purchases. Ignored subscriptions. Impulse spending. Small financial decisions that feel harmless individually, until one day, you open your bank account and panic. That's exactly what happened to me. And the worst part? From the outside, my life looked completely normal. I had income. I wasn't unemployed. I wasn't buying crazy expensive things, which made the situation even more confusing. Because if I wasn't doing anything extreme, why was I always broke? That question haunted me for months. At the time, my financial habits looked average. And that was the problem. Coffee in the morning, food delivery when I was tired, subscriptions I barely used, random online purchases, small upgrades that felt deserved. Nothing felt dangerous. That's what makes lifestyle spending so deceptive. It never feels serious in the moment. A $15 purchase doesn't feel life-changing. Neither does $20 or $30. But repeated daily, those decisions quietly reshape your entire financial life. And because the spending was spread out, I never noticed the pattern. That's how most people lose control financially, not through one catastrophic decision, through unconscious repetition. That morning started normally. I woke up late, checked my phone, scrolled for a few minutes, and then I opened my banking app, mostly out of habit. I expected maybe a lower balance than usual, but not disaster. Then I saw the number, $14.28. That was it. And instantly, my stomach dropped. Because suddenly every upcoming expense entered my mind at once. Food, transportation, bills, unexpected emergencies. And I realized something terrifying. One small problem could completely destroy me financially. One accident, one late payment, one emergency. That realization hit harder than the low balance itself. Because I finally understood how fragile my financial situation really was. What's interesting is, deep down, I already knew I was losing control before that moment. I just avoided confronting it. That's something many people do with money. They avoid checking balances, ignore notifications, delay looking at bills, because uncertainty feels less painful than confirmation. But avoidance creates a dangerous illusion. You feel temporarily protected, while the problem quietly grows underneath. That's exactly what happened to me. I kept telling myself things like, I'll fix it next month. I just need more discipline. I deserve to enjoy life sometimes. And technically, all of those things were true. But they also distracted me from the real issue. I had no system, only reactions. I wasn't deciding where my money should go. My emotions were deciding for me. And emotional spending is expensive. Not because emotions are bad, but because unconscious emotions create unconscious habits. After that panic moment, I finally forced myself to look deeper. And honestly, what I found shocked me. Not because there was one huge expense, but because there were hundreds of tiny ones. Food delivery, late-night impulse purchases, auto-renewing subscriptions, convenience spending, Entertainment purchases I forgot almost immediately. None of them looked dangerous individually. Together, they were destroying me. That's when I realized something important. Most financial leaks are emotionally invisible. You don't feel them strongly enough to remember them, which means your brain treats them as unimportant. But your bank account doesn't. Your bank account remembers everything. Every swipe. Every order. Every small reward. That realization changed the way I saw spending forever. But surprisingly, the biggest problem wasn't overspending. It was something deeper. Something psychological. And once I understood it, I realized why so many people stay trapped financially even when they earn more money. The real problem was stress. I was using spending as emotional relief. Not intentionally. Automatically. After stressful days, I spent more. After difficult weeks, I justified purchases faster. Whenever life felt overwhelming, buying something gave me temporary comfort. That's the dangerous thing about emotional spending. It doesn't feel irrational in the moment, it feels deserved. And modern life constantly encourages this behavior. Treat yourself. You earned it. Enjoy the moment. But repeated emotional spending creates a hidden cycle. Stress, spending, guilt, stress again. That cycle quietly drains people financially for years. And most never notice it. Because the purchases themselves are rarely extreme. The pattern is the real problem. After that day, I stopped focusing only on spending less. Instead, I started asking different questions. Why do I spend when stressed? Why do certain purchases feel comforting? Why do I ignore my balance when I know something is wrong? Those questions changed everything. Because financial improvement started becoming psychological instead of mathematical. I realized budgeting alone wasn't enough. Tracking expenses wasn't enough. I needed awareness. Awareness of my triggers. My habits. My emotional patterns around money. That's when things slowly started improving. Not instantly. Slowly. Then consistently. The first thing I changed was visibility. I stopped avoiding numbers. Even when they made me uncomfortable. Because avoidance creates fear. Clarity creates control. Then I simplified my finances completely. Fewer subscriptions. Less impulsive spending. More intentional purchases. And most importantly, I stopped using money as emotional therapy. That single shift saved me more money than any budgeting app ever did. Because once emotional spending decreases, financial breathing room finally appears. And breathing room changes your entire mindset. You stop feeling trapped. You stop feeling constant panic. You stop making desperate short-term decisions. That's when real financial progress becomes possible. Looking back now, I'm strangely grateful for the day I panicked checking my bank account. Because that moment forced me to wake up. Before that day, I thought financial problems were mostly about income. Now I understand something deeper. Many financial problems are behavioral first. Income matters. But behavior determines whether money stays or disappears. That's why some people earn more and still struggle. Because higher income without awareness simply creates bigger financial leaks. And honestly, that realization changed my life more than any finance tip ever could. The day I checked my bank account and panicked, felt horrible in the moment. But sometimes panic reveals truths comfort hides. That moment forced me to stop pretending everything was okay. It forced me to stop avoiding reality. And once I finally faced my habits honestly, my finances slowly started changing. Not because I became perfect, but because I became aware. And awareness is where financial control actually begins. Have you ever checked your bank account and instantly regretted it? What caused it? Comment below. Because honestly, the money mistakes people are most embarrassed about are usually the ones almost everybody relates to. And if you want more videos about money psychology, financial habits, and the hidden behaviors keeping people broke, subscribe. Because making money matters. But understanding why money disappears, that changes everything.